Right, hello, welcome to another video. Something a bit different today. I'm going to do a quick demo of ComfyUI, which is the software that I use to generate AI images and videos and stuff. I've recently done a new workflow, so if you're interested in this kind of thing, let me know and I can do some more videos, or I'll share the workflow online somewhere. So we'll jump into ComfyUI and have a look. This is where I left off. That's the last prompt I did there. Pretty straightforward. Just a cyberpunk image. We're using Flux dev, and you can do text with it, which is pretty cool. So the only I've got Ollama there as well. We can use Ollama for prompting, but I'll get to that in a little bit. For now, it's just simple. Prompt goes in, images come out. You get a 1024 by 1024, and then it upscales it to 496 by 496. So yeah, pretty decent image as well, nice and detailed. So we'll have a play around with some prompting and see what this Flux dev can do. I might have to do a bit of fast forwarding because this it's got low VRAM. It's a decent machine, but it's an old one now. So I'll just quickly show you the workflow, which I can share online if you want me to. There's no point me explaining all this stuff, it's boring. I'd rather just share the workflow. It's basically the loaders, load the models in and the clips and stuff, load the upscale model, set your width, set your height. There's nothing really worth changing in this sort of stuff. You don't really need any of it. Steps. So if you want more detail in the images, you can give it more steps. But for this demonstration, we'll just be using 10. It's more than enough. I think that's pretty much it. You can change the guidance if you want to. You can put that up or down. I think that's similar to what the CFG used to be. It's basically how much freedom it's got in the prompt. I just leave it at the default. I think that's it for that really. So you then feed that into the into Ollama, and then you can feed the Ollama prompt into the model to generate the image, which is pretty cool really. But that's not on at the moment. We're just using the basic prompt. We'll have a play around with that, and then I'll show you how we use the AI one as well. So yeah, like I said, this one is this is brilliant. This model, I really like that that output that we've got there from this prompt. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run that one again. We'll just queue that and see what it does. Shouldn't take too long. If it takes ages, I'll fast forward it. I'll edit it out. Yeah, so you see there it's on 10% already, 20%. So it's not too bad. I mean, if you want to generate loads of images, which I don't really need to do these days, you can just leave it running. But you know, working with these, just doing a few images here and there, or playing around with it, I don't mind a bit of a wait time, especially for Flux, because it is a pretty good model. I do like it. So you can see now, like it's not hung or anything like that. It just runs a bit slow. It's just doing its sampler stuff. It's in the VAE now, so we'll get there's the first image. So very similar, very detailed again. And then the upscaling happens really quickly, as you saw then. So that's not too bad. I didn't have to pause the video or anything there. That was fully live. I've not edited anything there. Yeah, and you can see what sort of image we got. I mean, let's see if we can get that in full screen there. Wow. Awesome. Right. Oh, it's moved my stuff around. Right, let's just put that back. Shove that over there. Right, lovely. So, yeah, so I'm going to get a different prompt up now, actually. That's based on the default Flux prompt. I think when they advertised their model, they used something similar to that, which is I just really liked it. So I've done a few variations of it, and obviously I've stuck my own name on there rather than the Flux one. Right, so let's have a little look. I've got some old school prompts that I've saved, some that I've written myself, some that have come from AI. I'm just having a quick look through them now, just to give you an idea of what what this Flux model can actually do. It's really cool. We'll try this one here. So we've got a surreal, nightmarish landscape where the ground is made of writhing, fleshy tendrils. The sky is a chaotic mix of colours. So this should be interesting. So we'll cue that. I'll probably fast forward this actually, just to save some space and some time. And there we have the first one. Wow, that's a stunning image. Really nice. And then the upscaled version there, it's really nice too. Obviously, we can have a look at that prompt again. So it's a real nightmarish landscape. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty surreal. Writhing, fleshy, yeah. It's chaotic mix of colours. Yeah, so it's pretty bang on really. But I am curious, so I am just going to run that again with a different seed, same prompt, and we'll see what comes out with. I'll probably fast forward it just to speed it up for you. Here we are. There we go. So different seed, very, very similar. Very, very similar. Really, really nice image as well. So yeah, so you can see that I mean, Flux is fantastic. We'll have we'll try another prompt, something a little bit different. So let's have a look at. Do something a bit, bit gothic, bit colourful, bit different. So this one is going to be a gothic skull crowned with twisted thorny vines that have blood dripping from them. This should give something a little bit different. We'll see what happens. Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. And then the upscale version there. I'm just going to full screen that one so we can take a closer look. Wow. Yeah, really detailed. I like the smoke coming off its head. And now it's just got the one eye. Brilliant. So yeah, that's give you an idea of just that I mean, AI can do virtually anything with these images these days. Really interesting results when you try different prompts. So that's just using our own prompt anyway. So what we'll do now is we'll take this string, our input string that we've been using, we're going to take that and we're going to put that into here where it says random. So that should, no, it's not, just bear with me. Right, we'll remove it from there, take it from there, attach it to that. So that's attached. So now our input string now is going to go into the Ollama settings. It's going to go into the into its not its context. It's going to go into its prompt sort of thing. So you prompt the model in Ollama. It has an objective or a persona, which we'll have a look at in a minute, and then based on that, it will generate the prompt for us. So you'll see that in a moment, but we need to make sure that the response is coming into the text there, into the clip text encode. So we can close that again. So yeah, the persona goes in here. You're basically telling the AI model, which we're using Mistral Nemo at the moment, which is a great model for this purpose. And then you give it an objective. So the goal is to create detailed, vivid, and coherent prompts that guide a text-to-image model in generating visually accurate and creative images, and then give it a whole list of um, guidelines sort of thing, so it knows exactly what to do. And then what we'll do is we will see what it does now. So what we can do is we can put in something nice and simple, really. We don't have to create our own prompts because it'll do it for us. So we can just type horror, because it knows that if I give it a subject, it knows what to do with that subject. So I'll cue the prompt in a sec. I'll probably fast forward because it might take a few seconds longer anyway with the having to do the prompt as well. Now we can see there it's done the prompt already. Ancient castle ruins, overgrown with ivy, looming against stormy night sky. So we'll see how accurate it gets it. It's on 30%, 40%. I'll fast forward. Awesome, that's pretty good. Ancient castle ruins, overgrown, looming against stormy night sky. Yeah, it's pretty accurate as well. So this basically saves you the trouble of inventing these prompts as much as I find it's quite fun sometimes doing your own prompts. But if you want to sort of give Ollama a subject, and then it'll just keep running prompt after prompt. You can even use the extra options and use the auto cue, so it'll just run until you turn it off, generating images. So yeah, we'll try a different subject. What you can do, because of the way I've written the persona as well, is I can type random, and it knows what kind of things that I sort of, what prompts I like and what prompts I don't like. It knows what to come out with and what not to come out with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the auto cue on, and then I'm going to leave it running for a few prompts. We'll see what comes out. I'll fast forward in between prompts, and I'll just quickly talk about the prompt output when we see it. So I can see the first prompt there already. An alien spaceship crashed into a lush jungle emitting eerie blue light. That sounds interesting. I can't wait to see this one. So that's the first image there, and then we'll see the upscaled one. That's really cool. I like that. Yeah, and then you can see there that once you start queuing it in the auto cue, the Ollama prompts is in straight away. We've got a cybernetic octopus playing chess in neon lit dystopian alleyway. Interesting stuff. So we'll see what happens with that one. It's really interesting just giving it a persona and then letting it go, letting it choose random subjects. Wow, interesting. So that's cybernetic octopus playing chess. That looks pretty bang on to me. Yeah. So we've got another one in there. Another prompt is an alien whale breaching, sorry, in a bioluminescent ocean at sunset. Cool. We'll see what that does. So I think it's taking roughly about a minute in between each prompt, the image being generated and then the upscale image being generated, which isn't too bad really. I mean, we've already had some really interesting outputs and stuff, and we've just left it running with everything set up for us to just give us these images in a loop. It's pretty cool. And the system, it's a pretty old system. Wow, that's an interesting image. Look at that, really good. Loads of detail there. It's fantastic. So we've got another prompt in there. So an astronaut floating alone in the vast emptiness of space, tethered to an abandoned spaceship gazing at Earth's blue glow. I've seen quite a lot of images like this with the astronaut floating alone, but we'll see if it gives us something interesting or something a bit different. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Have you got anything set up like this? How do you use ComfyUI? What models are you using? I'm a big fan of Flux. I used to like Stable Diffusion XL, but I switched to Flux because there's something about the images that I just prefer. And sometimes maintaining the workflows, I ended up with a huge workflow repository, and it was just it wasn't really worth the work really. I'll just kind of stick with one or two nowadays. So that's looks a bit strange. It looks a bit like to actually stood on a planet. Anyway, so another prompt: a lone astronaut floating amidst swirling galaxies, bathed in cosmic. Another astronaut one. Well, we'll see what it does. It's not very interesting, the astronaut things. I don't really think it was, because that image became really popular at one point. So yeah, we're going to have a quick just a quick check of some prompts. Yeah. Oh, that is a really nice image, actually. Yeah, it's really cool. I love the colours there, the detail, the way it's positioned it. So this time it's gone sci-fi again, because in the persona I've told it I like things like sci-fi, aliens, psychedelic things, weird, conceptual, abstract art, all that kind of stuff. So we've got, a lone alien explorer silhouetted against neon lights. Yeah, that should be interesting. So we'll see what that does. So about a minute in between each prompt, I think. And like I said, this machine's it's all right. It's a good machine. It's got an Intel i9 CPU. I think there's only about 32 gig of RAM in it, and the GPU is an NVIDIA RTX A4000. It's 12 gig of VRAM. So it's efficient. It only takes about 140 volts watts of power. Sorry. So it doesn't take a lot of electricity, and you get a decent output out of it, especially for AI tasks. It's really good with some of the AI stuff. That's a really interesting image there. I really like that one, actually. I like how the moon or whatever it is there is centered between them pillars. Really cool. So yeah, we've got another prompt. I am going to turn off the auto cue now. We can stop prompting there. So you've seen what it can do. We've not had to change anything. We've not had to mess with any settings or anything like that. We've just put in the word random, so it knows to pick a random topic from its personality, and then the random topics have been, just like this one: a lone astronaut walking on Mars, rust-red plains overlooking dust devils swirling in the distance. Wow, that's bang on as well. Yeah, really nice. So yeah, we'll leave that one there. Something a bit different. Just thought I'd share how I like to mess around with ComfyUI and what sort of workflows I'm using at the moment. If you're interested in more, let me know in the comments, and let me know what sort of setup you've got. And if you want the workflow as well, let me know about that, and I can put it up. I'll put it online somewhere, probably put it on my website or something. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.